Assalamu alaikum, my brothers and sisters. I am delighted to share my Revert story with you all. I am Muhammad Ameen, and my old name is Balaji. I was practicing the religion of Hinduism from my childhood till the age of 12. I studied in a Christian school. In my school every year, they would conduct a salt scripture test in which we had to read the Bible. In that test, I was the only Hindu student who cleared with distinction. While reading the Bible, I got impressed and I was about to practice Christianity in my life. I went to church almost every Sunday to know more about the biblical words, and I also started my research over it. During my 10th standard, I got a Muslim friend who gave an intro to me about Islam. She used the name of Prophet Abraham during the intro of Islam. I got surprised and went to church on Sunday and discussed with the pastor about this. The pastor replied me, as Muslims are following Ismail, who was born to a maid, and our God didn't accept him as he is born to a maid. This made me confused again, and I got a question in my heart as, if God sees him as a maid son and didn't accept him, then why would he create him or the maid? If he is a God, then he has to look equal at all his creations. And why didn't he? Again, I started my point of research, and this time I started digging into my own religion. I started reading Hindu Vedas, and I was surprised to see some statements in Sanskrit. I personally transcribed the Sanskrit words to Tamil, which is my mother tongue, using browser, and was astonished to know that we should not associate God with any things, as he is pure, and the one who associates God with an idol or stone or wood will be put in hellfire. These words made me think again. As in Christianity, they worship Jesus with idol and in some cross, but in Hindus they worship idols. Again, I stopped searching gods and arrived at the conclusion that there is no God exists in this world. We humans created God to bring fear in people, and I stopped my research. Meanwhile, when I stopped my research of why we live here and who created us, I got a Muslim friend who first took me to mosque for worship in the month of Ramadan. I wished to go inside as I was eager to see whom Muslims worship. Unfortunately, I got only the last row, so I was unable to see whom Muslims worship and did my salah by copying the nearby one. But I liked the way of worship as it is like an exercise to our body. At the same time, I had a fear in me. If I do my salah wrong, they will beat me. It is a similar thought of non-Muslims, that Muslims are terrorists and they are rude to other people. I thought of asking whom they worship, and I forgot to ask as we went to play after the salah. Then during my 12th, I got a friend named Anush who took me first to Jummah prayer. I went with the same eager to see whom Muslims worship or which idol they worship. But the same unluck followed me. I went and joined in the last row. With the same eager, I went every Friday to Jummah. One of my neighbor named Saddam saw me in the masjid and came next to me and said politely, "I'm happy you are coming to Jummah regularly," and asked my name, and I replied him, "I am a Hindu. I just came here to accompany my friend Anush." He asked me what you feel over here, and I told him directly, "I am an atheist." And I told him, "Better be on my side. There is no God in real. We humans created God." He smiled and replied me, "Brother, just think, why are we here and why death occurs in human life and what happens to us after death?" The same question where I started my research over life came back to me by another person. I personally felt he has answers. I told him my story of research and also told him that I feel my answers are with you. He smiled and he took me to his house and gave me a Tamil translated Quran and said, "Brother, your answers are in this book." He also mentioned to approach him if I had any doubts or questions. I asked him, which idols do Muslims worship? To answer my question, he called me at the time of Isha before 30 minutes to the masjid. I showed up before the time and he took me inside the masjid to the first row. I was searching for the idol but was unable to find one. So I asked him, "Where are the idols then whom you worship?" He questioned, "Have you seen God through your eyes?" I said, "No." He replied, "Then how can you make an idol of God?" Later, I started reading the Quran and I was impressed with the scientific facts in the Quran, which is found with the technologies available. But without any modern technologies, how come the Quran has this information? and I started my research in Islam by knowing and gathering information from Google about the prophets mentioned in the Quran, and accepted Islam as my life and religion in the year 2016. While taking the Shahada, I felt like a newborn baby. The inner feeling of mine is unexplainable in words. I remember the first time I prayed, I literally felt like talking to Allah. To all my brothers and sisters in Islam, I personally request you to make dua for me and let the knowledge in the Quran spread the word. Islam is a gift to us from Allah. Please do hold that gift strongly and firmly.